Hi, welcome to our presentation. Today we will be talking about lifestyle changes of the Chicago Office of Emergency Management and Communications. This will be presented to you by McKenna, Yona, Anthony, Vanessa, King, and Tebby. So our goals for this presentation is for you to be able to, one, describe how to properly measure your waist circumference and calculate BMI. Two, verbalize 3 ways in which you intend to remain active while at work. And 3, identify at least 2 ways in which a sedentary lifestyle affects health when presented with 5 correct and incorrect choices. We're going to start off with some pre-survey questions. I encourage you to pause after every question to just write down your thoughts, and we will go over the answers for these questions at the end of the presentation to see how much you learned from it. And hopefully that will address some of the questions that you didn't know before. So 1, how do you measure BMI? The second question is, what are 3 ways to stay active while at work? And then the third question is, from the choices below, select at least 2 ways that a sedentary lifestyle affects health. Your choices are increased risk of high blood pressure, decreased risk of high blood pressure, increased risk of heart disease, decreased risk of heart disease, and increased risk of obesity.
So what is a sedentary lifestyle? By Health Partners defines it as spending 6 or more hours per day sitting or lying down with no significant activity. And how is this related to the OEMC? Shifts at OEMC put employees at having a higher risk of hypertension due to the long shift hours while sitting at a desk for 8 to 12 hours, high-level stress environment due to the calls they are receiving. During the health screen, we had noted 77% of employees who participated had hypertension. Many employees reported that the in-building gym was not used as much as it could have been, and some had unhealthy diets.
So heart disease is the leading cause of death in America, and it's important to understand the risks that are specific to yourself, such as having high blood pressure. And 1 in 3 American adults have pre-hypertension, and African Americans have a higher risk of developing hypertension at an earlier age. And the other important factor would be considering being overweight or obese. And it's also important to make healthy choices through diet and exercise. And then 2 components of heart health are BMI, which is the body fat measurement based on weight and height. And in this picture, you can see how to calculate BMI, which is you take the your weight in kilograms and divide that by your height in meters squared. And then based on that number, you can see whether you're on the thinner range, in the normal range, or in the overweight range. And then blood pressure is the force of blood that is pumped by the heart, which is pushing against the walls of the blood vessels. And that consists of 2 numbers. The top number, or the first number, is the systolic, and the second number, or the bottom number, is the diastolic. And then here we have a picture of the categories of blood pressure. So anything normal would be if the first number, the systolic number, is less than 120. Elevated would then be 120 to 129. And then high blood pressure, stage 1, would be 130 to 139. High blood pressure, stage 2, would be 140 or higher. And then the third stage, or also called hypertensive crisis, would be higher than 180. And then here's a picture of how you can measure your waist circumference. And then here we have a video explaining how to do it.
All right, so next we got some lifestyle changes that you can do. So first, while you're at, just in general, you want to get 30 minutes of exercise each day for 5 days a week. You guys have got a cardio and weight room at the OMC on the first floor, and it's free. So just whenever you can, you might as well just head on down there and get your workout in. We also recommend trying to walk in place at your desk for 10 minutes every hour, just so that you can get your blood pumping a little bit. Make sure you're not just completely sedentary the entire day, not moving at all. We have some things that you could buy instead of to keep yourself moving a little bit while you're at work. So on the top left there, you've got a portable walking pad, and then on the right, we've got a portable elliptical, so you can just do that at work and keep a little busy, move around a little bit. And we've also got this video explaining a little bit about that.
Did you know that regular physical activity reduces the risk of dying prematurely by 20 to 30%? Sedentary behaviour includes computer use, watching television, and mobile phone use. It's one of the most important risk factors for heart disease. Physical activity is a keystone of cardiovascular prevention. It helps you to lower your blood pressure, your stress levels, to lose weight. It gives you a healthier heart and more energy. Small challenges are the best way to achieve the 150 minutes of exercise a week. Here are 5 easy tips to be more active. Walk every day. Start with 10 minutes and add 1 minute each day until you reach your goal. Choose the stairs. Monitor your number of steps. Use a bike for short distances. And if you have to use the car, park further away and walk a bit. Exercise cannot be replaced by medications. So don't wait. Get started now.
Next, we got some examples of workouts and stretches that you can do while you're at work, even at your desk. There's a lot of options on here. That first one, be careful. Since it's on a rolling chair, you don't probably want to do that on a rolling chair. If you're going to do that first one, do it on a stable chair, just because your feet are off the ground. Lifting up off like you're doing a push-up, but off your chair. We've got plenty of stretches on here. The shoulder stretch is really good, feels great. Stretches help keep you active just as much as the workouts. And any of these really work. If you want to go to the next slide. We've got some more examples over here. Buns of steel, hamstring curl. It's got great descriptions for all these on this if you want to pause it and take a look and see how you can do any of these.
So this is the DASH diet, which is dietary approaches to stop hypertension. And the diet aims to have 6 to 8 servings per day of whole grains, 4 to 5 servings per day of vegetables, 4 to 5 servings per day of fruits, 2 to 3 servings per day of fat-free or low-fat dairy, 4 to 5 servings per week of nuts, seeds, and legumes, less than 6 servings per day of lean meat, poultry, or fish, less than 5 servings per week of sweets, 2 to 3 servings of fats and oils per day. And you don't have to do everything that's on here. Just making small changes would help. And then you can gradually increase the amount of these things that you're eating. You just want to be aware of your salt intake because adults in the US eat more sodium than they think they do. Eating the DASH diet can help prevent and control levels of bad cholesterol that's in the body. And you just want to limit the amount of fatty meats, full fat dairy, sugary drinks, foods high in sugar and salt eaten. And here is a link to more information about the DASH diet. So on the left here, it's telling you some things that you should incorporate more into your diet, such as vegetables, fruit, whole grains, fish, and poultry, and the things that you want to limit, such as the fatty meats, full fat dairy, and sugary foods. And then this is kind of how you read a nutrition label. At the top here in yellow is the serving size. So you want to be mindful of how many servings is in what you're eating. And then the ones that are in orange is the nutrients that you want to get less often. And then the nutrients that you want to get more often are here in green. And the daily value is telling you how much of a nutrient is in a serving of food and from a standard 2,000 calorie a day diet. You want to monitor your blood pressure at home because sedentary lifestyle increases your risk of developing hypertension. You want to have yearly doctor visits so that they can see where your blood pressure is and if you have hypertension and you might need some medications to control your blood pressure. You just want to keep a daily log of your blood pressures, and you can buy a blood pressure monitor online, such as Amazon, for less than $30. And then this is a video that shows you how you can take your blood pressure at home using a monitor.
To get an accurate reading, it's important to take your blood pressure correctly. One of the most important factors in taking accurate blood pressure is having a proper fitting cuff. Once you have the right cuff size, find a quiet environment and rest for 15 minutes. Sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor and your back straight. Rest your arm on the table with your palm facing upward. The cuff should be level with your heart. Do not talk or move while taking a measurement. Avoid food, alcohol, exercise, smoking, and bathing for 30 minutes prior to taking a measurement. Your blood pressure can naturally fluctuate throughout the day, so taking it at the same time each day will give you more accurate comparisons. For tips on making changes to your lifestyle to lower your blood pressure, visit omronhealthcare.com.
It's important to track your blood pressure to see your progress. Tracking your blood pressure shows how diet and exercise is helping you improve blood pressure and decreasing it. Like the video said, you would like to take your blood pressure at the same time every day, and we recommend taking it twice a day. To make it easier, you could take it once in the morning at 9 a.m. and once at night around 9 p.m. The blood pressure does vary during the day. And again, please avoid exercise, caffeine, smoking, or alcohol for at least 30 minutes before taking your blood pressure, because that could skew your reading. Here on the right, we have a sheet of how you could document your blood pressures. You could download this from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, or you could copy it and make your own chart.
Okay, so I hope you guys were able to answer the questions that we asked at the beginning of the presentation, and I hope you learned something through our presentation. I'm going to be going over the answers of the questions we asked. So the first question was, how do you measure BMI? BMI is measured by taking your weight in kilograms and dividing it by your height in meters squared. I know that is a little bit difficult, so we also linked a BMI calculator where you can just input the values and it will give you your BMI. One thing that is important to note that although BMI does take in those measurements, it isn't always an accurate portrayal of how your body fat is distributed through your body. So it's just a good reference for how, like, where you fall, but it isn't completely accurate to how your body is. So that is just something to take note of. The next question is, what are 3 ways to stay active while at work? So as we mentioned earlier, there were 15 at your desk workouts that you can do, some of which include the side stretch, shoulder stretch, and ankle roll. So those are just some easy desk workouts that you can do while staying at the desk. Some other things are to walk in place at your desk for 10 minutes every hour and under the desk exercise machines. And then the last question was to select at least 2 ways that a sedentary lifestyle affects health. If you want to look back, the choices were on slide 1, and the answers were: it increases your risk of high blood pressure, and it increases your risk of heart disease, and it also increases your risk of obesity. So that's just an important reason why it's important to avoid a sedentary lifestyle if possible, so that we can decrease the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and obesity.
So this is like a little summary about the presentation. Sedentary lifestyle is spending 6 or more hours per day sitting or lying down with no significant daily activity. This could put someone at risk for having high blood pressure and heart health issues. And for example, shift work at the OEMC can be a risk because workers are sitting down for a long period of time and in a high stress environment. And we were told that a little to no usage of in-house resources like that gym were used, and we highly recommend using those. 1 in 3 American adults have pre-hypertension, and African Americans have a higher risk of having hypertension at earlier age. Some ways to prevent this decline in heart health is to take your blood pressure every day at the same time and tracking it, knowing your BMI, doing physical activity, whether if it's at the free OEMC gym, at the desk workouts, or taking walks, changing your diet by doing DASH diet and reading nutrition labels, and then also visiting your doctor for yearly health screening.
And then here we just have a Google form for feedback and just what you thought about how we did for the presentation. And it also assesses knowledge that you gained from the presentation. So we would greatly appreciate it if you filled out this feedback form. Thank you for listening to our presentation. And then here are our references. Thank you.